He back. It's wartime. Pain on my face, it's time to gear up. I hear they talking fly about my king, it's time to leer up. They done woke up a lion, ain't no stopping when I'm stepping. It's too late now, it's rapping in my jeans, no need for guessing. You flexing, while we repping that Elohim to the fullest. Loaded clip, man, we shoot from the hip, I dare you to pull it. These bullets is encrypted with scripture, call it the truth. That'll kill a lie in a second, but it's meant to say to you. You see the murder they committing in the booth. These musical crime lords with no verifiable proof, they sterilizing the youth. You throw your life away, give all of your time away if they verify you with blue checks.
Welcome to another episode of Men Can We Talk. I am your host, Anthony Ray, and this is episode 23 of the podcast. Shout out to my brother, Maccabees, the big Ock. He couldn't be here today, man. So I'm just giving a shout out to my brother, man. I can't wait until we can sit down, chop it up again like we always do. But before we get started, y'all know, first thing first, go to YouTube, find Men Can We Talk podcast, subscribe to the channel. That's the greatest way to help. If you want to help us, that's the way. Just subscribe to the channel. It's free. It's easy. Just go ahead and go do that for your boys, you know. Another shout out to Mike P. the Barber, who is the official sponsor of the Can We Talk Network. So y'all go holler at Mike P. the Barber. Go get the fresh cut. Like I always say, I can't do too much with it because, you know, I put the razor to this head right here, man. So, you know, I'm walking around like the kids at the schools call me. They call me Mr. Clean, you know. So, but for y'all, go and holler at Mike P. the Barber. If you want a fresh cut, he has some nice beard oils, nice, fresh, great products. He also has some hair oil. And, man, he is the premier barber of Gainesville, Florida, in my opinion. You know, if I was to let somebody cut my hair and give me a shave, I would go and let my brother do it because I know he gonna do it right. And he's moving to a new spot. He'll be moving into West Gainesville. He'll have a new spot over that way. And he's going to have this nice new chair where he told me that he is going from barbering to grooming. So my brother said he's about to step his game up, man. So y'all stay in contact with my brother at MikePTheBarber.com. Go check out his website, made by yours truly, me. You know, and just go holler at my boy, man. Go get a cut. Go holler at him. Always great conversation when you walk into the barbershop. So shout out to my man, Mike P. the Barber. Also, another shout out to Gainesville Podcast Studio, where we're posted up at today. Man, y'all come holler at Gainesville Podcast Studio for all your recording needs, all your podcasting needs. They even got business stuff over here and everything, man. So y'all come holler at them to come get your stuff together, get your life right, man. So holler at my man Nemo at Gainesville Podcast Studio. But yeah, man, without further ado, I am sitting here today with a brother that reached out to me a few weeks ago, and I was like, let's get it. Y'all know what I'm about, man. I'm all about this right here. So I just love what this brother is doing. I've been following him on IG for a while, so I can't wait to really sit down and hear his vision and where he came up with everything that he does. Here's some of the great things that he's doing, and he started his organization, the Black Hats Collective, back in May of 2016 here in Gainesville. So I'm like I say, I'm ready to really sit and hear this. You know, I'm loving some of the things that we've talked about off camera already, and I just want to chop it up with my brother today, man. So that's what we gonna do. So y'all welcome to the Men Can We Talk community. My man Dell Hannah, how you doing, man?
Doing great. Pleasure to be here.
Yes, sir.
You know, I've been looking forward to this because, like, I heard so much about this program, your program, and it's a blessing to have stuff like that in town.
Yes, sir.
You know, because it's a lot of men, young men, that need this.
Yes,
you
sir.
know, and men in general. You know, we need to talk.
Straight up.
So, hey, it's my pleasure, and hope we can do many, many more.
Yes, sir. That's the plan. That's the plan. So we're going to get it started like this, man. So what initially inspired you to create the Black Hats Collective, and how did you envision the role in the community back in 2016?
Well, it was a lot of the ills that was going on in the community that made me want to do it. I always wanted to do something for my community, you know, like I said, as for the black family themselves. It's a lot of things, opportunities we never had. So I always said I want to do something to create opportunities for us, you know, so we don't have to always run to someone else, and some safe environments. So I was like, I'm originally from up north, and I always wanted to do a community center for the people in my community. And I said that I was going to try to build a community center for the kids, you know, while I was up north. And what happened is I had a brother that was a Vietnam boy, and he got ill. He took ill, and I ended up down here in Gainesville, Florida, to take care of my brother. So at one time, I thought my dream was shattered. You know, I said, oh, man, I done left the kids up there that I had plans to do something with, and I'm in the new land. But like you said, one day I was sitting, and I was just talking to myself, and something hit me like a bag of rocks. It says, like, you know, what are you doing? What are you talking about? You got kids here, you know. These are your kids just as the ones up north. And I said, yeah. I said, well, let me get up off my back and do what I got to do. And I just started networking. I tried a little brochure I had going on at one time. And I did many different little adventures, you know. And I said, wow, I'm going to start the Black Hats, you know. And a lot of people think that it's a hat business, although we have black hats, but it's just a metaphor. It's what's underneath the hat. And so I was saying, you know, we got to save the children because the prison pipeline is real, you know, and then mental illnesses in our community is real. So me and a couple guys sat down and we was talking about which way to go about this, and we just came up with the little grassroots organization, the Black Hats Collective, and we've been moving ever since then.
Yes, sir.
So we're just trying to connect the dots.
Love that, man. I love that. And that's something I like what you said about the significance of the Black Hat, like what's up under that.
That's right.
You know, that's the important thing, especially, you know, that's not something, I think that's not something that we focus on a lot today. You know, a lot of what we focus on today is, you know, sports, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Not at all.
And that's something I always say, that I don't think there's anything wrong with leading the kids and training them and teaching them with the sports. But like, what's after that? What if that doesn't work?
Right.
You know, like, what are we giving these kids to help them up here?
Right.
Because all that stuff can end today. What's gonna be left in here?
Exactly.
You know, and so, man, yeah, that's great, man. So how has that, you know, since 2016, how has the community received you?
Well, it's like up and down. It's like Grand Central Station, a revolving door. You know, you know, we have done programs. We did a program once here about Stand Your Ground. We did programs like financial programs. You know, to teach them about their finance. We created BFF. Is a gardening group we have, and it's farmers, black farmers of the future. So as we as we've been growing, we've been going to different avenues. The main thing is, like I say, is exposure. We like to expose you to something and what I mean is that whatever you might think you can do, we want to introduce you to the avenue to take to try to do it, to become successful, whatever you do. Like I said, we have assortment of different programs, If you want to be a scuba diver, we want to tell you where to go to learn how to do it. You want to be a rocket scientist, we want to find the connections that teach you how to go do it, to help you make your dream, your mission come true, and I mean, being here, I think the community have welcomed us with open arms, I think it's a nice place to be, and hey, we're looking for a lot of help. Doors is open. We still need help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Straight up.
We still need help. We need volunteers. We need, like you said, members and just supporters, So.
Can you share some of the strategies or approaches that you guys have used that's been effective in engaging the community? Because I've done different community work, work with a lot of different initiatives, and one thing that's always kind of difficult is the engagement part. Can you share some of the strategies and approaches that you guys have used to engage the community?
Yes. We have, like I said, you usually try to get together with groups that's doing something in the community, similar groups, or they don't have to be doing what you're doing, but you try to get together and try to collaborate. And that's the main thing. If we can collaborate, and we're not here to take over what you're doing. We just want to show the people that we can work together.
Yeah.
So you have to take the good with the bad, the ups and the downs. We have go out to different events with, they invite you out, so you go to show them your support. You support them and hoping they return that support to you when you do something. I have done things where we have been in plays. I have been in plays with the community. I try to work with, like I said, people who work in the school system. We have a book club, and the book club is Black to Timbuktu. And that's the part where you were saying about the sports. I don't knock sports, but sports isn't my thing. Academics is my thing. Academics is my thing, and I like to talk about, how we could get the brothers and sisters to understand that even with the sports, you have to know the finances, and you have to know where you're going to go if you break your leg, or what you're going to do after that. Hey, I wanted them to know things that when I was growing up, I didn't see in my community, the stocks and bonds. You know what I'm saying? I want them to know finance, learn real estate, learn the importance about land ownership, So like I said, and that's what we do. We try to find people. Like, I work with brothers who do farming, like I said, and we collaborate and we get together. They have different events or different things that they want to show the community, and I try to get a couple groups. We go over there, I go to lectures. It's a broad thing, you'll always find something, but the main thing is you got to be willing, and it got to be something you want to do. And I always try to talk to the young people about, don't do something you don't want to do. Don't do it just because I'm doing it. It got to be something you want to do, and it got to be in your heart. And if you want to do it, then we can go out and we can seek out the necessities you need to do it. If you want to do it, I'm not going to tell you just because I don't want to play basketball. You don't play basketball.
Straight up.
But if I can find a coach who can coach you in basketball, hey, I want to introduce you to that coach. Hey, could you teach him how to play basketball? And like I said, you got to know about after the game. In my book club, there's a good book I have turned the people on to, is A $40 Million Slave. You know, and that's a great book about sports and what happens after you get hurt. You know, so if you don't have a plan for that, you know, I put it like this. Excuse me. You have to have a plan for the plan, because you never know what's coming, what tomorrow brings. So you always should have something, you know, because a lot of times you're gonna find yourself by yourself, and you got to keep it going. And you say, where do I go from here? You know. So if you sit down and plan it and map it out, you'll be all right. Like I said earlier, those who supposed to be in your path will come in your path. A lot of times I found myself by myself doing something, you know, or you get, it's a lot of letdowns in doing anything, business, your organization, you know, I don't care what it is, sports, whatever it is, sometimes you get letdowns, but you got to muster up that energy and say, hey, I can do it. So that's how you know if it's in you. If it's in you to do it, no, nothing can stop you.
I love that idea of the book club because, you know, over the last few years, that's something I've been wanting to get more into, and I haven't done as much as I want to. Like my oldest daughter, she loves reading. Like I actually just took all my kids yesterday to go open up get their own library cards.
Yes.
Because they've been using mine. And I'm like, man, I'm tired of y'all losing these books. And now I'm paying for it.
Yes,
you know, I'm going to get y'all your own cards.
Exactly.
So you can go in. Man, they were so excited. Like, oh my God. Oh, we're going to get a card. I'm like,
That's
and
right.
I want them to be excited about stuff like
That's
that.
right.
And my oldest, she is like the reader. And so she was like, Daddy, how many can I get? I'm like, the thing say 100 now, but we ain't gonna get 100. Like, let's not go overboard. Start out with 5.
That's right.
And she's like, only 5. I'm like,
Yeah.
read the 5 books and then you can bring them back. It's okay.
That's right.
You know,
That's
but
right.
and those books are her thing. So
That's right. The mind is young and fresh.
what are some tips that you would give to people as far as parents, you know, about encouraging books and making reading fun and exciting, making it something that, you know, the kids would want to do?
Well, first thing I think is that you got to get them a book that the things that they like, you know. Let them read something that they like to read, you know. A lot of times we try to force things on them, and you have to listen to them. You know, we have to listen to each other. We have to hear what they like and what they want to do. You know, he might want to read about fishing, so you gear him towards that. You know, I wasn't a great reader when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? But until I started reading what I like, and I always liked Black history. And I always liked to know where we came from. And when I found out about reading those type of books about where we came from, I mean, I couldn't get enough books. So, you know, if you get them into reading, they might want to do something like animals, you know. Let them read magazines, you know. Let them read newspapers, anything that capture the mind. And after a while, you'll be surprised what they are reading. You'll be saying, you know, they're becoming to you, telling you things.
Yeah.
It teaches you something. You say, wow, you know, I never knew that.
Yeah.
You know, she want to read 5 books, go ahead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'll be glad when she can get that 100. You know what I'm saying?
Straight up.
It's because reading take your mind to a whole new place. You know, it take you places you can't go right now. And if they get into it, you know, one day they'll be able to fulfill some of the dreams just because they read. And that's like, reading is like the gym of the mind. You know what I'm saying? They using that muscle, that brain. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I push my book club. Like I said, Black to Timbuktu. I push my book club all the time, and it's about learning about who you are. It's learning about where we come from. And
I was going to ask you about the significance of that name, Black to Timbuktu.
Because they said the first university was in Timbuktu. So, you know, instead of back to Timbuktu, and it's a black organization. And, you know, Black Hats is the black to Timbuktu. That's how I came up with it. But what I'm saying is that, you know, I tell them, learn everything. Don't just try to learn, you know, I mean, because it's all types of people that make the world go round. You know, I don't want you to be racist or nothing like that, but I do want you to know about yourself. You have people come to you and they can tell you their history and their lineage, but you can't tell nobody about yours because we're too busy following other people. You know, I mean, be proud of who you are.
Straight up.
You know, don't be ashamed of who you are. God knows why He made you the way you are. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, I don't want to be nobody but me.
Straight up.
You know, I don't want to be nobody but a black man. When I address you, they say, how you doing? How you doing, black man? If you're a black man, I want to be a black man. Because every other ethnic group is proud of who they are. You know, we need to teach our kids the true history and who they really are and quit sugarcoating it. You know, we because one day they're going to go out in the streets and somebody else going to let them know who they are. And the way that they let them know who they are, they might not like it. You understand? So, but when you can let a person know who he is and he's proud of who he is, you know, you don't have nothing to worry about.
Straight up.
So that's what we try to do at the book club, and we try to do different books about trades and stuff like that. You know, everybody isn't fortunate enough to go to college. But I told a group one time, I did a lecture, and I was telling them, there's a free college in every city. It's called the public library.
Yes, sir.
Just go there and study.
Man, oh man, books galore.
That's right.
Books galore.
That's
and
right.
they're on every side of the city, too.
Every side. That's right. And every topic that you want to know about, you know. So, I mean, if you start there, then you might get that title, that degree you're looking for. But, you know, a title don't mean nothing if you don't have nothing up here.
Straight
you know,
up.
You know, people live, especially in my community, I find a lot of people is just talking about who they are. You know who that is. You know what he is. But if he ain't putting back into my community, I don't care about knowing what he is. I want to know what he's doing. You understand? That's what I want to know. I want to know what is he doing. You know, how many of us is he going to save? You know, how many of my children is we going to sit down and point them in the right direction? Because, you know, it's easy. Every time you open your front door, you know, there's trouble waiting for you.
Yes, sir. You better
There's
believe
a test for you every time you open that front door.
Believe it.
And it's sad that every time we come out the door, we have to worry about is we're going to see you again. You understand? So we have to educate our children and let them know who they are. And I hate to say it, we have to educate some of these adults.
Yes, sir.
You know?
Straight up.
Just because, you know, he's an OG, as you say, and I use that loosely because, you know, when they say OGs, it don't mean the same thing. I use
Straight
it
up.
as my OG is the original gods.
Yeah.
That's who we are.
Straight up.
So we need to study that.
Yeah.
So once you start studying that, you know what the real OG is.
Yeah.
You know,
Straight up.
so you know, when you know that what you're going to face a little bit or have an idea, you can learn how to maneuver the pit stops, the holes that you're going to have to walk around so you won't fall in them, you know, holes in them ditches, you know, and them brick walls not to run into.
That's real.
And like I said, knowledge is key. You get a lot of that from books.
Yes, sir. Tell me more about your B.R.U.H program that focuses on educating students about heroes, and how do you select the heroes to highlight, and what's been your response from students and educators?
Well, the B.R.U.H program was a good program. I mean, it still is. It's not as, you know, I think we've been doing more of the Black to Timbuktu, you know. But with the B.R.U.H program, we was doing things like you said, was bringing certain historians and, you know, like the kids, you know, I always say we have to take them back little by little. You know, I believe me, I told you I love history. I want the kids to know about Harriet Tubman. You know, these are some of the ones I look for, you know, and Frederick Douglass, you know. But I also want them to know about Martin Luther King and Malcolm, you know, and the Black Panther Party and SNCC and things like what's almost present still. You know, history was yesterday. You understand? So what I'm saying is that we take them little by little, because I can tell kids about Mary Bethune and they be like, who the heck is that? But if I tell them about Biggie, you understand? They might tell me more about Biggie than I know, you know. But I'm saying if these are people that you know that the kids know, so we talk to them to certain degree of like old heroes to them, or people that they recognize back in history. And then we say, well, hey, did you know where, you know, Michael Jackson got that dance move from? He got it from somebody back in the 50s, you know what I'm saying? A couple of brothers who used to dance on stage in the 50s, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, and then I can once I pique their interest, that's what I'm trying to say. Once I pique their interest, I could get them to say, well, now I'm going to teach them about Frederick. You know what I mean? I'm going to teach them about, you know, Harriet. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of other great leaders. And that's where the Bro program came into, how it came about. And it was, we would give them different assignments and let them go back and do something about reports on George Washington Carver and stuff like that. And like I said, or who they might think that, you know, they should do something on, you know. And you'll be surprised that, like I said, kids are like a sponge.
Big time.
Kids be around
Boy, they
you.
catch on just
that's
like that.
That's right. And they be listening to things you doing sometime and or speaking, and you'd be surprised this kid come back later and say what you said.
Yeah.
You understand?
They'll tell you verbatim.
That's right. Kids is like a sponge. So don't underestimate these kids. It's just that they need guidance. And you know, a lot of the OGs, a lot of the ancestors is going on. And we got to give it to them before we leave here.
Straight up.
Because you know, you keep doing something over and over and over again. You know what they say about that, right? So, you know, we had to change it. Somebody had to break the mold. You know, we want these kids to be able to support themselves in the future. You understand? All this new technology. I talk to the kids. I say, you know, kids say, hey, Mr. Dell, you know, you see that new iPhone or them iPods and all this that's coming out. Man, you see that new electric car? You know, and I said, but if you don't have no education or no knowledge, you won't be getting none of that. The toys is costing too much. I mean, if my son is listening, he don't want to hear this, but he stopped getting a lot of video games after not that the video games, someone was violent and you always had to check that out. But he stopped getting them when the prices started going up.
Yeah, boy.
Son, we can't afford that right now. You know, but that don't mean I don't love you. I give you anything I can, but we can't afford that right now. So what I'm saying is, you know, if we don't educate our children and teach them that, you know, if you don't start off like, if you don't get your education right, if you don't try to do something, like I said, in life now, prepare for the future. When the future get here, you'll be left behind. You know, if they start flying cars and stuff like that, and you almost seeing bikes flying. You know what I'm saying? They got this thing. I was looking for my grandson. I was thinking about one wheel, and I looked at the price. I said, wow, that one wheel costs a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? But technology costs. Mm-hmm. And all I'm saying is, if you don't get your game right, when they be flying, you'll be talking about gasoline for your car. And guess what? It won't be no gas. They say, well, we don't use that no more. Just like things come and go. You know what I'm trying to say? Well, we trying to get away from gasoline. We trying to, like I said, battery and solar and all that. And if you don't get your game right, you don't prepare for it now, you won't be able to deal with it later on in life.
Yes, sir. Man, that's so important, man, everything that you said in that, because, us, with me having 3 children, I'm always looking at, I'm raising up 3 future taxpayers, really. You might as well say, I'm raising up 3 people that will be a part of society, and hopefully they have positive contributions to society, but that's on me to be able to teach them and also show them the importance of these things. They see me when I'm going into the community. They see different things that I'm doing. They be pulling up the podcast and everything, showing their friends and stuff. And I'm just like, what the heck? Sometimes I hear the theme music for the podcast in their room. I'm like, what y'all in there listening to? And then it's one of the podcasts, but showing them the way, and they see that Daddy is always doing something positive in the community. I'm always trying to help someone. I'm always in the mix somehow, way, shape, or form. Even with my job, I work for a fatherhood program. So it's a home visiting program. So the kids sometimes come with me to some of my visits, and they're like, oh, Daddy, we're going to a new guy house. And it's just, they see me out and about doing these things. And I'm always just telling them, that, yeah, this is what you do. You help people. Sometimes you ain't going to make a whole bunch of money in that industry. The industry of helping people, they do not pay money for it.
Right.
But sometimes it's more about the mission. Yes. The purpose of it. And there's a reward that comes along with that. So, a lot of people, they don't want to go into that type of stuff, but we need more people in the helping people industry. That's about helping people, and whether that be, like you said, some adults, and also the youth. I used to be into the youth mentoring and stuff. I did that for some years. Mm-hmm. And then later on, I shifted my focus, because I'm like, what I started to see was, you can help these kids only as much as you can be there. Because once you leave, they go right back into their environment.
Right.
And I'm like, and then that's where the burnout for me began, because I'm like, bro, we're doing so much and it don't seem like nothing is happening because the parents. And so that's when I really got into, man, I want to do something for dads. I let somebody else deal with the kids. I want to help the dads. Because I believe if I can help a dad understand his importance to his family and just how much impact he has, not just on his house, but his neighbor house too.
Yes.
Because you get your stuff right in your house, that affects everything around you. And we just don't have enough. We need more people being focused on, I'm do what I do for my family, because I know that it's going to be beneficial to me, my wife, my kids, but it's also going to be beneficial to you. It'll be beneficial, that you got 3 young people out here willing to do what's right. And that's 3 people that you don't have to be worried about mentoring.
Exactly.
And the resources going out the door for these 3 right here. I want them to be someone that makes an impact also. And if everyone made that type of, had that type of mindset, man, there won't be so many kids out here that need mentors, that need the help and the resources, the community resources. Exactly. And so, Yeah, man, that's the type of stuff I think is so imperative, man, that we begin to heal inside of the house, because the kids, it's not just the kids that need help. And I'm glad you made that point, because it's not just the kids. Some of these parents, mom and dad, they need help.
Exactly.
They don't know just as much. Sometimes I think some of these kids know more than their parents.
You know, with the
It's
book
crazy.
club, you know, we do a program also, like you said, about the history. I got this program where we give them, we always write assignments. This program out, we get this program we write out for the kids, you know, teach them about the different things, the earth, everything, whatever we can think of, and we try to do it so when they go home, it'll impact the parent. Like the parent will say, hey, I didn't know the earth was that big. I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where's you learning this from? You know what I'm saying? So we want it to be so when the kids leave the class, they can take that home and it'll just spread out through the household. You know, because, you know, you have to get, before you can help anyone, you got to get your own house in order. You know, like you said, you know, and a good point you made about with your children and how, you know, the neighbor, it don't just affect inside the house, it affects outside the house, your surroundings. You know, if you keep doing like you're doing, and the other good person, if you walk right, someone is always watching. Someone will look at you and say, you know, I want to be like that guy. You understand? You know, in my house, you know, I was a dad, to my 3 kids, but I was a dad outside the house. You know, my house was the dad house. You know, my house was where all the kids came and played, you know, and I used to tell the kids, like I said, I grew up in a pretty little rough environment, you know, and I used to tell the kids, you can't come in my yard and play with my kids unless you know, got yourself together. You know, you don't bring none of that negativity here.
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I'm trying to say?
Straight
you know,
up.
come up here, straighten up, pull up your pants, you know, straighten up your shirt, whatever, because we came from that too. So you just keep it going, you know. And I remember a short story where this little kid used to always come in front of my house, and he used to, like, he never could come in the gate because we had a gate. And the other kids would be coming in the gate, and they would be sitting on the porch, and, you know, my wife, she fixed food for them and all this. Look, I'm coming home and said, my wife feeding the neighborhood, you know. But it was a good thing. But I came home one day, and the little kid was in the gate. The little boy was in the gate, and I said, before I even got to the gate to come in, I was coming from work, before I got into the gate, the little boy jumped up, and he said, before I even opened my mouth, he said, no, Mr. Hanna. He said, see? he had his shirt all buttoned up, his pants tucked in. And I said, okay, you're learning, you know what I'm saying? But to make a long story short, when I left and I found out one day, my daughter's talking to me, that same kid became a professional ball player. So what I'm saying to you is, like, you're not only a father inside the house.
Yes, sir.
You're a father outside the house.
Straight
you
up.
know, and you want to take them under our wing, and that's what's not happening a lot anymore. You know, I think we are too selfish to a degree. We look at Bobby, but we talk about Bobby, but we won't go over there and help Bobby.
Yep.
You know, we talk about Mr. Bob or Mr. John, and we won't go over there and say, Mr. John, could I cut your grass for you? You know, when I first started, and people say, well, what is the age group, you know, for them to join your group or work with you? I said from 8 months to 80. I want them from 8 to 80.
Yeah.
Because we always talked about kids, and even when I was working with the kids, and believe me, I love kids, but I'm just saying, when we was working with the kids, and they say about, well, we can't save this generation, so we got to work on the kids that's coming up. These kids like these 5 years old, 7 years. I said, but they ain't killing them.
Mm-hmm.
They killing them 19-year-old boys, them 20-year-old men who haven't been guided right.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to just save those 5-year-olds because the 5-year-olds is no threat. We got to save the ones that's already going through it. I need to save some of the young men and young women. This is when I say men, I mean women too. But we have to save some of them. So if we save them, let them worry about the ones who's coming behind. They're saved. They're saved through 5-year-olds.
Straight up.
But we need to save them. Because
trickle down effect.
That's right. Because somebody, if you notice, saved us. You wouldn't be sitting there if somebody wasn't looking out for you.
Straight up.
Because, we human and we could have done anything, all the negativity in the world. But you decide to do this. So that's it. So if you just walk straight, walk right, and do right, somebody's watching.
Straight up. Always. We got to know that. Man, someone is always watching, man, so that's why it's important for us to do what needs to be done, because a lot of times there's kids, especially if you have kids and they have friends.
Exactly.
So a lot of times, my kids' friends, they're looking at me like,
that's right.
That's your daddy. So they know me and they see, especially now, with them knowing I have a podcast and all this, so they're watching different stuff. And when they see me come around, I'm, especially if you around my kids, like you say,
that's right.
You better straighten up. You said what? No, boy, you ain't gonna be talking. You can't talk like that around here. Not if I'm around.
That's right.
You need to watch your mouth.
Exactly.
Same way I'm gonna hold my son accountable. I gotta do that. I have to.
Yes.
So a lot of them, they might get mad, but some of them, they straighten up. They button themselves up, because sometimes they don't have that at home. I know I didn't have that at home.
Yeah.
I had it with my mom.
Right.
But I didn't have that man there to hold me accountable and show me the way, and make me, jack me up every now and then. And I sometimes I wish I had that, because
exactly.
I think that was something that I needed. And it took me to become a little older into my teens, early 20s, where I did have, some men just trying to step up like, hey man,
exactly.
You can do better.
Yeah.
I see more in you.
Yeah, you can get it through your teachers. You can get it through good brothers in the street.
Straight up.
They your father in a sense, it's funny, I had a great dad in my book, but I didn't see him as that great dad when I was growing up. He was just a punisher.
Yeah, man. telling you.
He was just a punisher, but I'm glad he did what he did as I became a man. And I understood it, and I grew to love that man, and I lost my mom at a very early age.
Jeez.
So he became my mom and my dad, and he stuck with us. And I come from a pretty large family. My dad didn't give up on me. So who am I to give up on these kids of mine and the other kids that they're around? Like you said, no, son, you're not going to be talking that way around my kids or me. But not only that, discernment. I want you to be, when you by yourself think that, you don't think you can talk to anyone or that way if you want to go somewhere in life.
Yes, sir.
So you might have saved his life from telling him, no. And he appreciate that, or she appreciate that. Say, Mr. So-and-so, Mr. Dell told me something, and it stick with you. You know what I mean? So, as long as you're walking out there with good spirits, brother, don't worry about it.
Straight up.
Sometimes you have to stand back and let the ancestors or whoever you may serve do their job.
Straight up. Your events during Kwanzaa, I saw you doing a lot of that stuff on your story on IG. Talk more about how you believe these cultural events contribute to the community's understanding of identity and empowerment?
Well, Kwanzaa, like I said, it's more than a name. It's more than just wearing some African garb for one day. Kwanzaa 24/7. You know what I'm saying? I think, it's good to teach the people the culture. Like I said, it's always good to know where you're from, who you are, your greats. It's like I say George Washington to someone. They say, yeah, he was the first so and so second president. And I said, no, I was talking about George Washington Carver. Because it has somebody else who don't look like it. But how about the ones that look like it? So when you deal with Kwanzaa and it tells you the heroes, like, in your community or your culture, and the brother started Kwanzaa for a reason, because like I said, they have every holiday there is. I said it before, they have holidays for the holiday. So we need a holiday.
Real talk.
You got Kwanzaa and then you come out. Well, when you get there, the 7 principles, you need to practice the 7 principles. Like I told a person, Kwanzaa is in your heart. Kwanzaa is what we're doing now. Chopping it up. Brothers chopping it up, trying to make it better for the community. Kwanzaa is taking that responsibility. So quit coming out for one day and putting your fists up and putting your hoodie on. But when it's time to do something for the community, I don't see you. Like I said, quit running around here with a title. A title don't mean nothing in my book. Straight up. It's good to be educated, and it's good to, I can call you Dr. So-and-so. But Dr. So-and-so, like I said, is you doing anything for your people? Juneteenth was celebrated more before it became commercialized. We enjoyed it. We celebrated it more when it wasn't. Now we have other big box stores selling your stuff. They selling Kwanzaa gear, Juneteenth gear in the store, and you running down there and you buying it. And I guarantee you, a lot of them stores ain't putting no type of resources in your community. But you have a brother, and you look at him, and he got a little stand, and he trying to sell it to you, and you walking right by him. Yep. So we still have that mentality that his ice is colder than ours. You know what I'm saying? So, how is you going to help the community if you don't support the community? So what? You have a celebration, and after the celebration is over, right? What is we talking about now? We went, hey, did you go to the Kwanzaa event? Yeah, I went. I saw so-and-so, and, man, he talked about the 7 principles. That was on Tuesday. What happened Wednesday? You don't even remember what happened at the event. It's just like I tell people about, we need results. When we have a meeting, the meeting is good while we're in the circle talking the meeting. But don't let the meeting stop as soon as we go out the meeting place. As soon as the meeting is over, everybody is back to, doing whatever they want to do. But we have a mission we got to take care of. We have a duty. Superman ain't coming to your neighborhood. Superman is already in your neighborhood.
Straight up.
He already there. Superman, Batman, all the other heroes.
Yeah.
You call them auntie, daddy, mommy, you know what I mean? Teacher, uncle, you know what I mean? They're there.
Yeah.
Those are the real superheroes. People ask me, say, well, who's your main, inspired you to do this? And I might say Malcolm, right? And then I say, I listen to Claude Anderson, so-and-so, people like that. And then I say, well, it wasn't really my main ones. It was my dad. Just real like talk. You said about your kids. You be so into it that start wanting to drop names that you might think somebody know. But if you really think about my first superhero was my dad.
Sheesh.
You know what I'm saying? And second in charge is my mom. You know, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I'm at. You know, my dad didn't have to do what he did for me, just like you doing for your kids. You know, and I don't think it's right for us to be forced to do something. You know, my dad used to tell me, son, he say, son, if you're gonna make it, take care of it. I mean, you know, I couldn't wait to be a father. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew how he was a good father to me. I said, I want to be a good father to mine. I want some kids I want to, you know, to raise up to do something positive or be useful to the, you know, the community or whatever. You know, and a lot of them go astray. Even the good books say that. But they'll come back if you instill it in them from you know, littlets.
Straight up.
They'll come back. You might say things right now to your children that your mother used to say to you
all the time.
And you be saying, boy, I sound like mom. Or you know what I'm saying?
Straight up.
So if you instill it, do your job and it'll work out, you know? It'll work out. Long as as you tell your kids, I tell my kids, just be a decent person.
That's it.
You know, I don't care about the sports figures, and I mean, if you want to do that, I hope you do. You know, I don't care about the titles, you know, but if you want to be a doctor, I wish you would. You know, doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, you know. But if you don't, that ain't gonna stop me from loving you.
Straight up.
So when you show a kid you love them, man, you don't get no better than that. It's better than gold.
Straight up.
You know.
That's good. That's good. I got one more for you, man. So looking ahead, like, what are some of the goals for Black Hats Collective? What are some of the things that you guys hope to achieve in the next few years? And how can community members get involved to support your initiatives?
Well, the goal is to teach my community how to support themselves. You know, one of our goals is funny that you and I was talking about the book club. You know, I need a library. Create my own library. You know, create some centers that can help the community. You know, build something tangible in the community. You have people with a lot of money, man, but they ain't building no institutions. I don't know why. I mean, I could tell you some things, but we'd be here all day on that. but you know, we need some institutions, and when I was growing up, there was a lot of community centers, different things, and we need some of that back. I need my children to have opportunity. That's what the Hats is about. We want to make, and not only, like I told you, I'm from 8 months to 80. You know, I want brothers in between that to have opportunities that they never had. You understand? We want to be just like any other people. You know, and I think that, like I said, how you can help me is, like you said, just support me on my different platforms. You know, I have, like I said, I have Cash App and PayPal and all that, you know, and stuff like that. Any donation help, because it takes, you know, everybody, that's the elephant in the room when you talk money. You understand? But the world don't run on just air. You need money to do anything. You need money for equipment. You need money for stationery. So you know, but I don't want to say that, you know, you give me something and I don't want to, and I don't give you nothing. I need to be like a turnaround. Like I told a group about, you know, the dollar in the community. They said, what, it go like 6 times? I said, let's make it 7 at least.
Yeah.
You know, let's make that dollar. Let your dollar go to Mr. Jones, who's cutting the grass, Mr. Bill, who washing the windows. But you can go and call everybody else with big names, and I told you, they don't even live in your community.
Mm-hmm.
So let's circulate our dollar a little more. You know what I mean? Just like here, the brother, like you said with the podcast, the studio, you know, hey, y'all want to do that? Come check this brother out.
Straight up.
Hey, this brother cut hair, man. Let's go down there and check that brother out. Quit taking our dollars and putting them in places where it's not going to come back to us. You know, a lot of our dollars is helping them live the big lifestyle of the rich and famous.
Better believe.
You understand? Because we are too selfish to support each other. But that's what the goal of the hats is, to connect the dots, I call it. For us to start working with each other. Quit thinking that we want to take over what you do. We don't want to take over what you do. You do this. I don't do this. But since you're good at it, why can't I come support you? You know what I'm saying? Why can't you come support me for what I do, my endeavors, and I support you for yours, and we all can eat. But the first thing we do is we think like, you know, someone want to take something away from you, and we just want to do a collaboration. You know, when we usually get something in the community, it's like we got something to hide. We turn our back. Like, you ever see a person, you ask them for a dollar and they turn it back and go in their wallet? You know what I'm saying? You know, we should be each one teach one. You know, and we was treated differently from others. So I don't expect you to do the things that they do. You know, like people say, well, yeah, man, I went and I had to pay for this education. I do this, do that. How many lawyers you say, well, would you do this pro bono for us in the community? You know where we come from. You know our struggle. You know, it's the reward sometimes. You know, so like I said, you know, I look for support. Support us on the social media. You know, give us some
and
support.
That's Black Hats Collective on all.
The blackhatscollective.com. You can support us on we on Instagram, TikTok. Well, the TikTok, you don't know how long that's going to be, but we're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. You know, like and share. You know, let the word get out. You know, I have you can go to Black Hats, the shop. We sell our shirts and stuff. Support us that way. Support us so we can make some of these dreams come true for my people, for the community. You know, like you said, I told you I want to do some type of community based thing for, you know, my people can go get health care, or, you know, my kids don't have to be on the streets. You know, they can be indoors doing something creative. You know,
straight up. Teach
them different trades. Teach them. You know, you know when we usually talk about the sport subject, you know, a lot of times it's basketball and football. I like that. Don't get me wrong, but there's tennis, there's skiing, there's swimming, there's things you wouldn't believe. I want my kids to be able to have the opportunity to do all those things too. Just, you know, we don't get us wrong, but we do be proud when we see a gymnastic, it's one of us or one of us doing this and stuff. But I used to tell the kids when they say, Mr. Dell, I want to be like Mike, I say, you already Mike. You know? We had a lot of Jordans in the community, but the camera wasn't on them. There's a lot of brothers who can do that. You know, there's a lot of sisters who can do gymnastics. There's a lot of us that can do certain things, but they just don't have the opportunity. And that's one thing that we want with the hats. We want to connect you to the resources that you can go get so you can have the opportunity. So
yes, sir.
That's one of our goals.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, yeah, man. Like y'all say, man. Like he said, y'all go to blackhatscollective.com. Go support my brother. Buy some of the merch. Get tapped in with them. We'll talk out off camera, man. I got a few things coming up this year that I would love to try to include you in. A few things that we're gonna be doing, and I'll get you connected with one of my other brothers. I'll give you his information when we get done. And yeah, man, I just think we gotta just connect. I think that's the biggest thing. You know, we just want to connect. But yeah, man, I look forward to connecting with you in the future. And I definitely appreciate your time, man. Appreciate you coming to chop it up with me, man. Pleasure, we got to definitely swap numbers, man, so that we can stop emailing. And yeah, man, and we can we're gonna definitely do some stuff together though, man. So appreciate you.
We need to, and we need the other brothers and sisters who see it or hear it to come tap in with both of us. You know, if you don't deal with me, deal with the brother. Yeah. If you don't deal with him, deal with a brother that's trying to do something positive, or a sister that's trying to do something positive. Just be true to the game.
Yes, sir.
You know, do what we have to do because it's a new time.
Yes, sir.
And usually it don't get better.
Yes, sir.
But if we don't save ourselves, go in your closet and pull out your own cape. Become the Superman and the Superwoman that we're supposed to be for our family, our black family, man. Just start loving each other. If we do that, you'll be surprised what happens.
Yes, sir. Hey, that's the word right there, y'all. So we're going to leave y'all on that note today. Like I said, y'all go follow him on all social medias at Black Hats Collective. Y'all know, please go and follow both of the podcasts on Can We Talk Network. Men Can We Talk, Dad Can We Talk. And we're just going to continue keeping this thing pushing. We look forward to seeing some of y'all in some of these events that we're going to be doing later in the year. I'll keep y'all updated on that. And until then, y'all go to YouTube and subscribe to the channels. Man, Can We Talk podcast. Go subscribe. And we're going to leave it there on tonight. Like I said, man, appreciate you for coming on. We appreciate Gainesville Podcast Studio for allowing us to come into their space once again. And we'll be back, and we'll see y'all on episode 24. And we out of there. Bang, bang.
He back. It's wartime. Pain on my face, it's time to gear up. I hear they talking fly about my king, it's time to live up. They done woke up a lion, ain't no stopping when I'm stepping. It's too late now, it's rapping in my jeans, no need for guessing, you flexing. While we repping that Elohim to the fullest, loaded clip. Man, we shoot from the hip, I dare you to pull it. These bullets is encrypted with scripture, call it the truth. That'll kill a lie in a second, but it's meant to say to you. You see the murder they committing in the booth. These musical crime lords with no verifiable proof, they sterilizing the youth. You throw your life away, give all of your time away if they verify you with blue checks.